Welcome back, guys, to my YouTube channel. My name is Silvanus Victory from the Geography Department, and I want to talk about the book As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. In chapter 1, they talk about thought and character, and in that same chapter, they talk about a Bible verse, Proverbs in 3 verse 7, proclaim, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." This book helps us to understand the great impact that our thoughts have on our character, everyday life, and also behavior. Therefore, our thoughts and actions are inseparable because we are the creator of our own characters. Whatsoever we think of will definitely be exhibited. Every action we take back as a result of what we have thought in our hearts will surely show either positive or negative results. However, the author tells us that a man is not a subject, but rather a master of his own thoughts, holding the key to his life in his own hands and how to use it. The keys can either be used to achieve greatness for himself or to destroy himself too. Chapter 2, Effect of Thoughts on Circumstances, Health and Body. This is centered on the effect of our thoughts on circumstances, health and issues. This chapter 2 reveals to us the law of thoughts, and it helps us understand with increasing accuracy how the thoughts and mind operate in the shaping of our character or even our destiny as circumstances. We have to understand that the soul attracts what it secretly feels and think about before executing. So therefore, it means that whatsoever we think and we feel has the power of effect on us. It also tells us that when we express strong and happy thoughts, we tend to build up our body and grace. Lastly, our thoughts have a strong impact on our health and body, because whatsoever we think in our mind goes a very, very long way in bringing us down and affecting our health and body, like as a whole, even if we choose to change diet as a solution. Thoughts and purpose, chapter 3, talks about how closely they are linked to each other. It talks about the fact that having a very clear purpose in life is essential for achieving success and happiness, telling us that purpose gives direction and focus on our thoughts and action. The writer, James Allen, also shows that thoughts can be seen as a means of achieving one's purpose in life. He tells us that if we focus on our thoughts on a specific goal, we can create a very, very clear and mental picture of what we want to be in life. All that a man achieves and all that he fails to achieve is as a result of his thoughts in his mind. Clearing thinking is essential for achieving success too. We must be able to think as individuals to be able to meet up with our goals and attain a greater height of success in life. When one conquered weakness, it means that all selfishness thoughts are gone and the person is very, very free. A man can only rise when he lifts his thoughts up. In chapter 6, Visions and Ideas, the dreamer are the saviors of the world. Here we are made to know that we should cherish our visions, our ideas too, and the things in our hearts. This tells us that all our visions are ideas, that we should take them very seriously, because it will either bring positive or negative news to our lives, and that can change our lives for good or for bad. We should take our visions according to the circumstances we find ourselves in, because it is known that the thought of human works hand in hand with the activities happening physically in our everyday lives. In everything that happens, there are efforts and results, and the weight of efforts will determine the results. The visions that one glorify in one's mind, the idea that you can carry in your heart, this is what you will work towards, and this is mostly likely what you will become. The last chapter, Serenity, talks about the calmness of the mind. The calmness of the mind is a beautiful jewel of wisdom. It is as a result of patience and self-control. And in a place of calmness, experience have been there, and it is more than just the ordinary knowledge of the rules. When a man is calm, it shows that as he understands his thoughts and has so much knowledge of understanding others as a result of his thoughts, as time goes on, they develop a better understanding and think more dearly on the cause and effects of thought. A calm man has set himself to be disciplined and known how to adapt himself to others and also his environment. The more a man loosens up, the greater heights of success he will attain. Such man is always loved and respected. Also, self-love is strength, right thought, and is calmness and also power. Say unto your heart, peace be still. The book is divided into two parts, as a man thinketh and from poverty to power. And also from poverty to power is also divided into two parts, the part of prosperity and the way of life. So the part of prosperity, chapter 1, talks about the lesson of evil. Here, the writer tells us that all evil is not something external, but rather it's a reflection of our thought and action. It emphasizes on the fact that the reward for evil is always pain, and it tells us that suffering and pain are seen as a device for a transformative experience. This is because when we overcome challenges or difficulty, we develop wisdom. Pain is an inevitable part of life, so it is up to us to decide if we want to wallow in pain and allow it to weigh us down, or take it as a transformational difference in our lives and increase our inner strength too. The next chapter, the way out of undesirable condition. This principle emphasizes that every thought, emotion, and action has consequences that we must face, and it influences the circumstances we experience. This gives an opportunity for transforming lives also and overcoming undesirable condition. Every decision and choice we make sets into emotions, a chain of effect that shapes our reality. The secret of health, success, and power. The writer moves around many factors in order to bring us to the realization of the secret of health, success, and power. He compares our life when we are kids and when we are told stories of heroes and other individuals. He tells us that the fairy folks of these times possesses all the magical power which were bestowed upon the good health and happiness of our success. It reveals to us that the secrets of achieving good health and success live in our cultivation of our strong and positive mental attitude. He emphasized on the importance of self-control, self-discipline, and also self-awareness in achieving power, health, and success. It encourages us to let go of negative habits and thoughts too. Our thoughts are seen as a fundamental power used to shape our lives, and by utilizing this power, we can overcome hardship and achieve our goals. Great is the taste of happiness, and great is the lack of happiness too. Second part of From Poverty to Power, the way of peace, the power of meditations. It explains to us that our mind become more disciplined, positive thoughts replace the negative ones, and that regular practice meditation unlock an inner peace, wisdom, and guidance that stirs up a spirit in us to a greater future. In conclusion, meditation is the key of unlocking our full potentials as individuals. It empowers us to think, act, and become the best version of ourselves. Therefore, by embracing and understanding the power of meditation, we can unleash a greater future and heights. The two masters, self and truth. This part of the book talks about two masters of the human soul, self and truth, which are contending for the crown of supremacy. His father says that no man can serve two masters at the same time, and that each person is a slave to one of the masters. The writer emphasized that whosoever chooses to serve self are born by negativity, suffering, but those who serve truth experience peace and harmony. It tells us that if we seek to know and to realize truth, then we must be prepared to sacrifice an appearance of self. Then when we are willing to deny self, lust, and opinion, we will be able to enter the narrow way of truth and find the peace that we desire. The acquisition of spiritual power and realization of selfless love. It tells us that the key of acquiring spiritual power is through the purification of the mind and heart, telling us that through self-reflection and discipline on an individual can cultivate humility and sense of inner calmness. This talks about selfless love and how every individual can come to realization of it. It talks about the fact that selfless love is seen as divine. For us to reach it and understand experience and understand and also experience it, we have to work with grace and great diligence and upon our mind and heart. In the next chapter, entering into the infinite. Entering into the infinite means living a perfect harmony with God and having His virtue, His spiritual state being a lot of joy, peace, and fulfillment. Entering into infinite is the crucial step of spiritual upliftment. It is a point where the individual goes beyond the boundaries of ego and merge with his universe. Saints, sages, and saviors, the law of service. Saints, sages, and saviors throughout history achieved greatness by dedicating their lives in serving humanity. Everyone has the capacity to serve regardless of their position in life. When one dedicates their time in helping others, it contributes to a greater good and in fulfilling spiritual potentials. The last chapter, the realization of perfect peace. Perfect peace is a state of being that comes from mastering one's thoughts, overcoming selfish desire, and living in harmony. Perfect peace is not dependent on external conditions but arises from within. Perfect peace brings joy, charity, and a freedom from worries and anxiety. It's achieved through self-mastering and living an alignment with truth. Thank you guys for listening.